Hey y'all, it's your gracious host LT. That's me. We're back this week with another episode. The first episode for the month of February. Not only are we celebrating love, we're celebrating what? Black History Month, y'all. You already know how I feel about my people all across the diaspora. Just sending you guys love and light. Be happy, be prideful. Not only, we can never shorten our history to a month. We already know this, but what Carter G. Woodson did in 1926 was legendary because it made sure that American people, particularly white people, acknowledge our legacy, our contributions, our presence. So no matter how you feel about us having the shortest month of the year, know why we are celebrating it and know what our ancestors did so that we could be prideful. It all matters. Today, we're diving into body shaming and body acceptance because I'm more on the positive. So acceptance is more better than shaming. Pride is better than anything. And I want y'all to be prideful about your bodies because you only get one. Because I'm all about the optimism, always looking at the higher end of the spectrum. And I'm more onto acceptance and being grateful for the things that make me me. And I really hope that you guys, my viewers out there, feel and share the same sentiments that I have. Nobody should be able to make you feel uncomfortable about you. And if they do, that means that you are truly not satisfied with the being that you are. Shame me once, fool on you. Shame me twice, fool on me. One thing I've learned in this life at this age is what you're not gonna do is check me on the way I live my life, define the things that provide me pleasure, or body shame me. When I was younger, I unknowingly accepted that. The critique about my body, the projections and other people's opinions, I accepted that all the time. I didn't know any better. I thought that I should take the critique of the people closest to me and be a better person. Luckily for me, I found out at a young age, a very young age, that you gotta learn to love yourself. I was never able to put it in such words. All the hashtags that we have now around self-love, I never knew that to be so much of a thing, but I always knew I liked the way I was. I loved the way I spoke. I loved my loud voice. I loved my presence when I walked into a room. I was very confident growing up. It probably had a lot to do with the way that I was treated, like mostly from my family, because I didn't accept other people's opinions. Like, you don't know me to say anything about me, so I could give a F less about what you have to really say. But I internalized a lot of the things that my family says. But baby, today is gonna be a hard pass. Body shaming is defined as an action or practice of humiliating, making critical judgments about one's body, shape, or size. I think we can all admit at one point in time, especially when we were younger, even as a young adult, critiquing people based on their appearance. I mean, it isn't completely the fault of one who's been raised in a society who judges people based on the way they look and the things that they have. This is America, a diverse melting pot, so I understand it. But you would think we would have a higher tolerance for indifference. I mean, if you were blind. But the truth of the matter is that we don't. We believe ourselves to be the judge and jury for people and their lifestyles. I mean, really. About my family, I didn't grow up seeing a lot of slim women like myself. When I was in elementary school, I was tall, lanky, buck-toothed, but I didn't really care. And it, it was elementary school. I was like, I'll change. I didn't trip too much about it. I didn't care or know about the harshness of being judged. Sure, my siblings made fun of me the most, but size hasn't changed much since middle school. Forget high school. I've always had this shape, give or take a few pounds. But all I ever heard was, oh, you're so skinny. Oh, cover up. Oh, are you hungry? Yes, I was always hungry, but that was because I came to find out that I had a fast metabolism. And I always, emphasis on the always, was particular about what I ate. Granted, I was a kid like all the other kids in my neighborhood who was living on a bacon, egg, and cheese and fast food diet. But veggies and water was always important into my diet. Like a major key. I never skipped on those things. And I loved superfoods, which I come to learn what superfoods are now. I've always loved those things. I guess you could say it was a palate thing for me. Wanting beets over potato chips came with judgment. Getting slight curves in the right places meant I instantly was sexual. Smiling at strangers meant I wanted to be catcalled. You know, being friendly meant I was flirting. It was like no matter what I did, I was calling for attention. And God knows I never was. That's my hand to the Bible. Like I never wanted like attention from strangers. Specifically, I never wore this saying, oh, I'm gonna go down the block and the boys gonna look at me, I'm gonna go. Like never, ever. I despise it, especially for men. Like, who raised you? Like, who raised you? I grew so sick of people projecting their feelings onto me and about me based on me just wanting to be myself and loving myself and appreciating the things that made me me. Remember what I said about triggers last week? I paid attention to why things and comments and actions would bother me more than a little bit. And I know it had to do with the influx of unsolicited advice that I would constantly receive. Mostly from men outside in the street and women in my family. Why are you dressed like that? Why are you wearing this? You know, all those things that you shouldn't tell a kid. Cover up, because men, and it sucks that we live in a society where men are not able to control themselves when they see a good looking woman walking down the street. It drives me crazy still to this day, because I have a dog who is super trained. I tell him to stop barking and he stops. I tell him to sit and he sits down, but men don't know when no is no. That's another story for another time. I didn't like seeing it as a kid. I don't like seeing it as a grown woman now. You know, I don't like seeing it in real life with parents condemning their children. I don't like seeing it online with complete and absolute strangers. Like, check yourselves. Everyone's always screaming, love yourself, be yourself, accept yourself. But the minute you start doing that, they be like, nah, not like that. Chill with all the self-love. Calm down with all the self-confidence. Humans, I tell you, really are. You begin to learn to love the things people told you to hate about yourself. You learn the value of understanding projections. I could spend a whole nother episode on projections, because I'm telling you, learning the value of people projecting their feelings on you changed my life. I'm like, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Out of my face with your feelings. You know, all the people who ever told me I was too skinny was overweight or out of shape. That's a fact. All the people who ever told me to cover up and do this with my body probably never received positive body confirmation as a kid. I did, so I knew, and I got it from the people who mattered most, like my grandparents. So when I learned from them that I was everything I needed to be, I never let anyone out in the public define my happiness or my being. Like, I'm so grateful that I've never had to go through that. Like, if I did, it was, like I said, when I was, if I didn't say it, I think it was like a time when I was in high school and I got cheated on, and the girl who she cheated on me with was a stripper. She had a baby or two. Like, I couldn't compete with that woman who was beyond experience, who had sexual experience that I couldn't even touch with a 10-foot pole. I learned, you know, it made me feel away, but it didn't make me stop loving myself and feeling worthy, you know, and that's just the fact of the matter. I see more sexual elusive comments on both men and women from both men and women, and with particular focus to the popular crowd, Chloe Bailey and Lizzo come to mind. Recently, Chloe has been seen shedding clothes, while Lizzo was always like, clothes, what is this you speak of? We all have a Chloe and Lizzo in our tribe, one who we absolutely adore and would go to war for. You know, one who is blooming beautifully, the other who's absolutely unapologetic. The other one we can appreciate because of their authenticity, and the other one for being proud of the things that they love about themselves because someone told them, or society says, that we shouldn't love a person who looks like that. I might side-eye a honey who got some crazy eyebrows on, because there's just too many tutorials out there on this platform, YouTube, to show you how to do better. But what I'm not gonna do is slander a queen who popping that thing. I might unfollow you. You know what I'm saying? But judge you? Nah. Come under your picture and comment on your physique and the things that provide you joy? Absolutely the F not. Not LT. I love a woman who owns themselves. I love a being who knows who they are and shows up like, yes, it's me. I'm one of one, and you gonna love, and you gonna love me. Oh, I love people who are unapologetic and don't give a fuck, F-U-P, about what somebody gotta say about them. More of that, more authenticity. The world needs more of that. We don't need clones. We need people out here being their individuals and uplifting positive selves. Let them do that, boo. If it ain't, you know, what a person eat ain't gonna make you it ain't got nothing to do with you. Just mind your business. If you see a person that's happy and thriving and doing the things that make them happy, just mind your business. You see, I got my Queen Riri shirt on. I'm all about that Pisces energy, okay? Unapologetic. Anti anything that ain't for me, okay? You know, and my hope for all you beings out there is that you learn to love the things about yourself. All the things about yourself that make you you. That you hug and kiss the parts that people told you that you should hate and that were unworthy. You gotta internalize that, because if you are not satisfied with you, baby, nobody's gonna make you happy, and can't nobody satisfy you or bring you pleasure if you don't look in that mirror and love what you see. I mean that honestly. You know, therapy is always great. You know, we always encourage that, but know what's in them bags before you go to dump them. You know, you got to know why. Find out what those triggers are and why. You know, deal with those things. Hurt people, but heal people. And you know what? Feel, deal, heal. You know, I keep telling y'all that y'all see what they want to see, and that don't got nothing to do with you. Okay, that's my word for the week, y'all. Stay blessed. Peace. Curvy, wavy, big titties, little waist, body, yada, 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 yada.